might catch me howling at the moon.
Hi there guys, everybody, welcome to the Drug Squadcast podcast, the podcast in which we talk all things addiction. This is episode 3.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And also marks the first one where we have a guest.
Yes.
I'm your host Kieran. As always, I'll be joined by, now we've established that used to are my co-hosts. There's no hierarchy here, is there?
No.
So as always, I'm joined by Pete and Sam. So yeah, how's things, guys? You alright?
Good.
Everything's great.
Life's good.
Life is good, isn't
Busy.
it?
Yeah, it's alright, man.
It's normal. Life's normal.
Normal-ish.
No chaos.
Very importantly,
Yeah.
did you get through Christmas clean?
Yeah.
Yes,
Of course.
I
Did
come
you?
through it skint. I come through it clean, and that was my first Christmas clean
Yeah.
since I can remember.
Mm.
And it was even more stressful clean than it was when I was off my face,
Yeah.
because you're present and you're
You try to deal with the stresses, ain't you?
yeah.
We were dealing with them before very well.
Yeah. So did you have a good Christmas?
It was great, you know, like it was just the normality of what Christmas is all about, spending time with your family and all that sort of side of things, you know, and what Christmas is actually about, you know, as before, none of them things mattered to me, do you know what I mean? The family and all that, they didn't matter, do you know, like, it was about what I could get, do you know what I mean, and what I was doing, you know. Christmas was just another day, do you know what I mean? Christmas was just another day.
Yeah, it was a long day. I remember at the end I felt really drained. My little girl felt very overwhelmed on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we never seen you
No, it wasn't nothing to do with me.
Oh, right.
It was like, you know,
I'm
you know when kids open presents
Yeah.
and everyone's staring intently at them. And every time she'd look up, she was like, ding, and she's got a bit overwhelmed. So we had to do it in stages, sort of thing. But it was,
I'm sure she felt the difference with you being there
yeah.
and you being clean.
I was present last Christmas, but I've been drinking Guinness heavily. And,
You weren't present.
no, and I wasn't on the coke, so obviously I was telling everyone how well I was.
You were clean then.
Yeah.
But was you thinking about the coke?
Yes. To be honest, I'm thinking about it now. It's always in the back of my mind, cocaine,
Yeah.
and but it's okay. That's just a thought in my head.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about drugs still, Pete?
Yeah. Unless you want to sit with you two.
So,
I tried not to think about it when you just. I was
Right on
talking
top.
I was at the Rico last week. That's how they're saying, and someone come to me and he went, "Oh, Kieran." I went, "Hello, you all right?" No idea who he was. So he was talking for a little bit. I was thinking, who is this guy? He knows me. He knows. I think he knows who I am. Then he mentioned Pete, and I thought, this is about drugs. But I've told you.
But it was about drugs.
Yeah, it was about drugs.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he'd seen this on the podcast and whatnot, so it was good that out in the Rico I felt like a little bit of a celebrity.
Did
Did
you
he actually
thing at the
feel
top?
He didn't ask for my autograph or anything, but he knew Pete. But as soon as he mentioned Pete, I thought, that's about drugs.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a little bit of an update as well with the Dynamo Project. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of people are asking us, what are you? What is the Dynamo Project? And it's a very difficult question to answer. So the quick update we're going to do today is that we're going to be up and running in April. We're going to have our base of operations set up where we're going to deliver a day program and where people are going to come in and be able to talk about us if they've got any addiction issues. And we've also got our accommodation. We've got updates on our accommodation coming up, which should be up and running in July. But we'll update people more as and when we've got more stuff to update. But it's in principle, it's all good to go, and we're very happy. And once we've got more information, obviously we'll share it. But we've been talking a lot about day programs, haven't we, that we're going to try and deliver. But the base of operations is going to be something where anybody can drop in. We're very hopeful it's going to be city centre based. So anybody can drop in and they can come to us and they can talk to us about addiction or any struggles that they may have a tea and coffee, a bit of cake or whatnot. And So we're hoping that will be up and running in April.
The venue for the Dynamo Project will be publicised on social media. It will be advertised on the podcast, so everyone will know where it is. If you're from Coventry or if you're from surrounding areas or from wherever you're from, you'll be able to find us on social media. But we'll actually have a venue this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be up and running, like I said, in April. The accommodation to follow in July. So 2022 promises to be a very promising one for the Dynamo Project. We'll get the word out there that if you're suffering with addiction or any addiction related issue.
And the website's going to be up and running soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Don't forget that
So
one.
I spent some time this week with the chap who's going to create our website. So I've given him all the content, all the wording. So there's going to be a holding page up very soon. So that's going to be the dynamoproject.co.uk. Again, we will announce that on our social media once that's up and running. That'll be very crucial for how we take referrals for Lilac when it's open. So
Exciting times.
exciting times, very positive start to the year.
Yeah.
So all good.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously the first two podcasts have been just us three, where we're trying to let our audience know who we are, what we're about, what our objectives are, so on and so forth. But there's only so much I can listen to used to. And I can imagine it's vice versa, so it's good that we're going to have a guest on now. He nearly set me to sleep earlier. when he rang me, he said, "No, I can't make tomorrow, I'm going to the range with the missus."
We've got a pocket.
I nearly fell asleep standing up.
I won't take your money off it. Who does it, man?
I really want a missus. When I hear comments like that, I think, I'm alright.
Why do you keep chasing? Oh, why do you keep chasing them?
I don't know. They're all a lot quicker than me. But yeah, okay. So yeah, how do you feel about having a guest on? Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to having a guest, and especially the guest that we're having tonight. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and it's also we're going to get different perspectives on the matters that we like to discuss.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, we hope that you guys enjoy listening, and with that we'll bring on our guest Michelle. Come on Michelle, on your pot.
How you doing?
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, how's the day been today?
Busy. I've had a busy day today.
What have you been up to?
So Fridays is my babysitting day
Yeah.
and my cleaning day. Exciting. And yeah, just that.
More
really.
exciting than going to the range.
Range actually right, isn't it?
I don't know what to say about that.
Getting old, so.
Yeah, just normal life responsibilities.
I'm definitely getting old. I'm thinking in my head being hands better in my head.
Wow.
That's how sad I am. It's better than the range.
Which place can I save more money at?
Yeah.
Do you know what I bought for Christmas for myself?
Go on.
A vegetable spiraliser.
What is that?
It spiralises vegetables, I think. Does that make them all? Does that like take cores out and stuff?
You
No,
bought
it's-
this clean.
Yeah.
You weren't on anything.
No, but it's a new thing I'm trying out. Like, I'm trying to be healthy, so
Good.
instead of pasta, courgettes.
And healthy eating is I think an underused tool in dealing with addiction.
100%. I've been eating clean for the last cleanish. I've been eating cleanish for the last couple of weeks.
Don't you have fish and chips every Friday?
Yeah, well, today I actually had a kebab. I like fish every single day. Before I'm having a kebab.
From Charlie's place.
From Charlie's, yeah.
Yeah.
Big up Charlie. But I feel much better cooking my food at home, my vegetables, my potatoes, my fish every day. And I feel when I don't eat clean, I do feel a bit shit. I feel like I've done a bit wrong.
Because food is essentially fuel.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only because of modern society that it's all designed around taste and product and how it looks. But food is fuel. What you put into your body is what you're going to put out.
What you eat, yeah.
Of course you are,
I
yeah.
think some foods can have anxiety, affect your anxiety, they can affect your sleep, they can affect your energy, and all that can lead to.
I haven't bought a vegetable spiraliser, I'm not that into it at the minute.
You will in about 5 years.
5 years, yeah. Michelle's a lot further ahead than me. In 5 years I'll look forward to
That
that.
is a sign.
It
When
is
you're
a sign.
spiralising, Made it.
And I think when I met you guys, I was like half the size I am now. So it's time to get healthy.
So how do you feel about being on a podcast? Is this your first podcast? Have you been anything similar before? Have you been on camera before?
Yes.
That sounded weird.
No, I've been on camera a few times, in different capacities, different places, like, so one place was when I was in Scientology.
Yeah.
So I did a documentary. Then when I was at Shelter, I did a few adverts for them that went out there on YouTube. And then I've done a few like online shares, and podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few different things. Yeah. Been
Cool,
on
so
the news 3 times in a couple of years ago.
Well, that was the wanted caption, weren't it?
Oh, I can tell you a story about Crime Watch, but I don't think it's for the podcast.
We'll do that later.
Yeah. I've got one, I haven't been nicked for it yet.
So I think it's important as to the dynamic between us four know each other well, and we've met each other. I think we all met in 12-step fellowship meeting, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I met Michelle, I met you 5 years ago now, and you were just about to go to a treatment centre, and you needed to go to the treatment centre, which you did go.
Yeah.
That was on a Monday night. Do you remember that meeting? That was in an owl-shaped room. So whoever was taking the meeting, you could only hear the voice. You couldn't see it. It was proper anonymous. You couldn't see the person taking it. Do you remember that room?
Yeah, where was that?
It's like it was an owl shape there, so someone would be sat. I won't even say who it is, but I remember who it was. And she was sat there, and she was taking the meeting. I'm sat around there by the door, so you could just hear her voice.
Wow.
And you couldn't actually see. It was weird. And then they moved on to a different room. Do you remember being in that meeting?
I think so. Is it really bright meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And then you went to treatment and you came back. And am I right in thinking you have remained clean
Yes.
since?
Yeah.
So how clean are you now then? So
I'll be 5 years in May.
5
So
years.
about 4.5.
Yeah, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not much less than yourself.
No, yeah, so
It's just 6 months between us,
Yeah.
really.
it weren't that far away before you went to rehab after me, was it?
Yeah.
Do you remember what's the first time you met Michelle? Do you remember?
Yeah, I met Michelle at meetings when we were like trying to both get clean. So
Yeah.
it was hard times, weren't it?
It
You
was.
know, like really like having to battle. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just to try and get a place in rehab as well, wasn't it?
It was really hard, and I
you know.
remember being jealous of you because you got there first.
When I met Sam, I was jealous of
True
him
story.
for different reasons. I thought, he's a good looking bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, so we were both trying to get into rehab. I was on and off using. Michelle was on and off using, and I think I just disappeared, wasn't it, kind of, and then we met back up. I don't know if it was in the same organisation, but in a similar one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think I'd been to a different rehab, and when I came out, I came to volunteer in the one that you
Yeah,
were in.
I remember.
And it was just amazing that we've just been on that journey ever since, you know, from afar,
Yeah,
right along.
we've always been around the same sort of people
Yeah,
and done the same things to get where we are today.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
you know, that's like 5 years I've known Michelle. Do you know what I mean? And we're still sat here today. So that's
More importantly, you're still sat here today clean. So for the last 5 years, you and Michelle have been putting in the effort and we're getting the rewards. So
5 years ago, why didn't you tell me to go to rehab?
we couldn't find you.
You've gone to Spain.
5 years ago, I was in rehab,
Yeah.
believing that I wanted to get back to drinking.
Yeah.
I was only going there to get off cocaine.
I don't think I thought I had a problem 5 years ago.
No.
That's probably what it was, wasn't it?
Do you find everybody else had a problem with it?
Bad, they had a problem with me.
I kept
as
saying,
well.
I didn't have a
No,
problem with
they
it.
didn't really. Not even
I ain't not you.
It's dead strange, actually. I only just thought of it now. So when I first met you, you were at my first meeting over in Nuneaton. I come over to Nuneaton from Coventry.
Yeah.
I was too ashamed of myself to go to Coventry meetings, and I met you and another guy. And we were saying a minute ago, like, they were really kind to me.
was Michelle there with the bloke, the clipboard Is that the same?
No.
Is it different?
That was a guy who worked in like the drugs place.
Okay, yeah.
And then he told me about the
Meeting.
Esh building. So I come down. I met.
So Michelle was at your very first meeting.
Yeah, first meeting.
5 years on, we sat here on a
It
podcast.
was more than 5 years ago. When we first
Amazing, isn't it?
meeting. Yeah, and these people, Michelle being the main one, and there was another person that was just really kind to me. And I thought, I'd never been in a room before where no one wanted anything from me. They just wanted to give me a bit of advice and just a cup of coffee, and just say, "Be all right now." You know what I mean? This is what's going on. It's just very new to me. But I just thought, the day I met Sam was with you. We went to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
You remember that?
And
Yeah.
Sorry, there was another guy taking his.
Yeah.
You know who I'm on about.
Yeah.
Was that a convention?
No, it was just a meeting, weren't it, Sam?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I remember that. I remember standing meeting you as well. We were with an older guy. I remember, and those three. I met you at the train station, I think, in Birmingham, and we went to the Birmingham meeting was really hectic, and then I met Sam, and we were
sharing,
and I was like,
6 months clean it was.
yeah, and it was just, I just thought then, I was with you. Those three went out. I don't know why. I think the Nuneaton meeting was coming to an end or something, weren't it? And I still didn't want to do Covent. And Michelle and her other friend went to go to Birmingham. I thought, I knew I needed to keep doing this, even though I weren't grasping it.
Yeah.
Then I come over and we met. You know.
Yeah, that's
But
mad.
you haven't aged today.
It's got younger. So anyway, we go to 12-step fellowship meetings because of drugs, and you do obtain friends that will be your friends for life. There's a lot more on offer there than what meets the eye. So Michelle, obviously we're not going to expect you to tell us all your deepest, darkest secrets. Obviously that's saved in a more private environment, but just for the benefit of our listeners, what drove you to seek help? What was the factors behind you seeking help?
I think it's quite complex to say a lot about it really, but what I can say is like I reached a point where it got so bad and I'd exhausted all options of trying to sort it out my way, and my way wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, my family had tried everything with me, and
was it? I don't know what I'm saying. Was it drugs? Was it alcohol? Was it a combination of both? Was it what was it primarily?
So for me, it was heroin and crack.
Heroin and crack, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on a script as well.
Yeah.
And so in the earlier days, I managed to keep my business. I had a hairdressing business. I managed to keep that, and the money I was earning from that would pay for my habit. And you know, later on, after I lost my business and I'd been to rehab and I'd been in this cult for 5 years that really messed me up, I came out of there and I just didn't know how to live, and I ended up out in Holland, and I think that's where my rock bottom happened, because I'd destroyed all my family relationships. I'd lost all my material, like belongings, my home, relationships, my mind. You know, I was really in a bad way. I was basically homeless, but I'd been picked up by a gang and they put me to work behind the windows.
Yeah.
And
this was in Holland?
Yeah, so I was surrounded with people that I didn't know what they were talking about because they were talking in a foreign language.
Yeah.
So I was really paranoid, scared.
Still using at this point?
Yes, yeah. So they were controlling my using.
What's the drugs like in Holland, alright?
Well, it got me to my rock bottom, so it couldn't have been too bad. You know. So yeah, it was a pretty insane time. I just remember like either I die or I do something and I change this life, you know.
What can I do with that?
And I really did feel that, you know, and I think I managed to escape. I managed to get out of this place, and I got picked up by the police because I was like running down the road like in a vest and shorts and no shoes and all the rest of it. And I hadn't got my ID because the gang had got my ID, so they arrested me just for that. And then they helped me get into like a treatment centre in Holland.
The police in Holland did?
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. They
Would
were
you get that here?
incredible.
I'm not so sure.
they were so good, really, really good. So they helped me get into first of all, like a homeless shelter, and then from homeless shelter into a rehab. And that was where they introduced me to like 12-step meetings. And I was like full of trauma. I could barely look at anybody.
How long ago was this? Like 6 years?
6 years, something like that.
Which isn't a long time really, and it's just 6 years ago you were running around Holland
Yeah.
getting picked up from the police on heroin and crack. It's mad, isn't it? 6 years is a long time to remain
How
clean.
long was you in the UK before I first met you?
Like pretty much straight away.
Wow.
Like a couple of months later. So I'd got back from Holland after I'd been in rehab for 6 months, and I come back still on a script. They didn't take me off my script.
It passed over?
Yeah. And then I just brought it, like came
Yeah.
back on my script. And I was still, when I came back, I was still messing about with drugs. And I started going to the meetings, and at the same time I met you was the same time pretty much when I came in, and I was on a script and I was
Is it in the S building which you did
Yeah.
some work around that? I remember I used to be in the room getting acupuncture in my ears. Trying to stop
Yeah.
drugs with these needles sticking out my ears.
Yeah,
And
I
we
used
were.
to love that.
I was on drugs at the time.
Me too.
I was sleepy
And
though.
at that point, Michelle, are you just thinking that I've got a problem with heroin and crack, or did you know that there was probably reasons as to why you're doing what you're doing?
I don't think I thought that. I think like every time I tried to get clean before, I thought if I stopped the drugs I was fine.
Yeah.
But what I realised as I've gone along on my journey is
Yeah.
that I had this like hole that I could never fill, you know. And so in the earlier days, I would fill that hole with a new boyfriend,
Yeah.
with if I wasn't on the drugs, you know, with work, overworking, with some sort of obsession, you know.
Substitute.
Yeah, yeah,
So whatever you were doing it for the wrong reason. So you're
Yeah.
going into a relationship for the wrong
Yeah.
reasons, working late for the wrong reasons,
yeah,
so on and so forth.
yeah.
And do you ever? So heroin and crack go hand in hand, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never taken heroin and crack. Have you? I don't know.
Yeah, it lived.
No. And when,
Wow, you don't
I'm
want-
joking.
but when people talk about crack,
Cut that out.
we'll keep that in. It appeals to me.
Yeah.
When people talk about crack, I get. You know, when I think about cocaine, I get a
Well, it's
feeling.
basically that.
I get a
isn't it?
feeling in my stomach, like a butterflies.
Mm.
I get excited by the thought of cocaine. But when people talk about crack, not so much heroin, because I know that's a
Yeah.
downer. I like to be up.
You like stimulants, yeah?
Or stimulants, yes please, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when people talk about crack, I still get that same feeling, even though I've never smoked crack.
Yeah.
Although when I went into rehab, I told them I did, because I'm
Yeah.
desperate to fit in.
You know, they say curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
Someone said that to me. I'd already gone past the curiosity part, I'd already tried it, but it's so true, isn't it? You know, the
Yeah,
curious nature we have.
it's insane, isn't
Like I
it?
said earlier, I don't know if it was on a group, someone mentioned crystal meth, and I always think, I never tried that. It's my first reaction was, I could never get hold of that. It's
I've
like-
never known crystal meth in England.
Oh, it's here.
I've had it.
Is it? I weren't looking in the right places.
Nor was I.
It's on Breaking Bad crystal meth, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
what.
It is here, isn't it? It is.
It is.
But it's not
If
like
you look
as
at
big
it.
as Coke now, or Mandy, or crack and heroin, is
It
it?
depends what circles you're in.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree totally.
I seem to be in the same circles where people were sniffing Coke. I just
All
seem
the
to.
time.
All the time, yeah. I just found myself in them. I don't know how that
I
happened.
was in them circles for many years, and then I sort of migrated through all the substances. You know, I put myself in all different circles,
Yeah.
so I wanted all different feelings.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean about when you like saying you substitute it for other things. It's the obsession can become escapism, can't it?
Yeah.
So sometimes if I've got a lot on my mind, I will sometimes purposely obsess over another thought just to take my thought off that thought, because I'm such an obsessive thinker anyway. Sometimes it's just a bit of
Do you have a busy head?
mad busy.
Do you, Michelle? Have we all got a bit? My head's busy now,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I'm trying just to
It is getting
quell it
easier.
down.
But I do have a lot more calm time in my head
Me
nowadays. Like a lot more.
And that's priceless. Just my head. My head's particularly busy at meetings. I still struggle at meetings.
It's all
I
the
feel
input.
that- Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was in treatment,
Yeah,
and
which is a very common trait we find with addicts.
but what I've noticed is as the years have gone by, it's got like my head has calmed down, my anxiety around people has calmed down, like the traumatic stuff has calmed down. You know, I think it just takes time.
And that you do give off that impression that you are a calm person. I can't imagine you running around Holland on the
Some
rampage.
people who listen to this will think
Yeah.
they can't put that to your face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It weren't
And
calm
that's
for
the
it.
amazing
Remember at the
thing
start,
about
it
it.
weren't calm, was it? It was.
No,
weren't
when I
calm.
first came in, I was really.
It was chaos.
quite
Like we were
chaotic.
like we were all asking each other for help. Like that's how I remember it. You know, like we all had advice. Sean was good. She showed a female perspective. You know what I mean? And then I had older people around me, and we were all just asking each other, "Have you had this? Do you feel like this? Or is your head saying this?" And they're like, "Yeah," like and that connected us all,
Yeah.
and that's what helped me.
We're connected by our madness and our thinking, aren't
Yeah.
we? So Michelle, when you made that decision then to put down crack and heroin and whatnot, how did you find that transition from that life into trying to obtain a new way of life? How did you, because it's not easy, and that's from my opinion, my point of view, it's not easy. How did you find that personally?
I found it really scary.
Yeah.
Like all my identity, all of who I was wrapped up in using all this cult that I'd been in and that whole lifestyle. And it was like when I was dropping that out, who am I? And how do I interact? And suddenly I haven't got this buffer between me and other people.
Yeah.
And like I was just riddled, and I still can be at times, with anxiety, like
Anxiety,
social
yeah.
anxiety. And you know, I think it depends how comfortable I feel, but you know, I think when I get to know people, it does get easier. And
Do you struggle going into places for the first time?
yes,
I always, when I go into them, I scour the room
yeah,
in case someone knows me.
yeah,
And sometimes I like to go a bit out of town so people don't know me. I don't know why I
Just a bit. I think it's all linked to anxiety a little bit there.
yeah.
and shame
Well,
as well. I think.
Was you scared of, you know, when you got clean and you come off your script and you come off like whatever, was you scared of living a life fully with no substance?
Definitely.
You know that, no comfort blanket, no, well I've got that just in case,
Yeah.
whatever happens I've still got that.
Yeah.
Was it scary for you?
Really
You know,
scary.
it's like taking that leap into the pool, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
like, right, I am just me now. There's
It's-
nothing holding, you know, I can't mask nothing.
Feel like a little baby, don't you? Like
Yes,
thrown in.
very much, yeah,
you know.
very much so.
And
I feel like a child sometimes. Well, when I say sometimes, I mean a lot of the time. I feel like a little boy.
Yeah.
I feel lost a lot of times.
yeah, I think we do have to grow up, and I think like through COVID, that's been something for me that's really helped, because prior to that, like my first few years in recovery, I was literally working, bouncing from one town to the next, working in different places,
So you
different
were travelling for a bit,
boyfriends.
were you?
And
all
did
the
you
rest
find
of
you
it.
were still making mistakes, still making
Yeah.
wrong decisions?
Yeah.
So if it was all about the drugs, why do the same things keep happening? Which is a big lesson I've learned. Because I put drugs down now and I still make reckless decisions.
Yeah.
I can't blame the drugs. I want to, but I can't.
Again,
That's a
it's
lot.
like you've stepped away now. There's any blame can't be put on the drugs, like you said.
No.
And you step away from it. It is like, oh, right, it's just me now. It's just me.
You become accountable
Yeah.
for your actions. When you're using, you've got that. I'm off my head on drugs, that's why I did it, but now
Some
you're
of the stuff
accountable.
I have done now, I do think I wouldn't have done that if I was straight. Knowing now how I feel about life and about other people, I think I don't think I've done that. So some of it is to do with the substance I do.
Yeah, I think some behaviours
Some of it you
might
think,
be,
oh,
but
but I ain't doing it now.
yeah, but I think like the head.
Do you still have the
head's-
same thoughts?
The head's still there. Like I can still, like if I'm driving on my little moped and there's a police car in front or driving towards me.
Spikes up inside.
Yeah, I still have that.
I don't think we have any control over our first thought. So in any situation I'm in, if it could be an unsettling situation or some be violence or whatever, our first thought, from what I've learned and what I've been taught and what I've asked people, no one can control it. So the first thought, sometimes it's just like, it needs to get out of here, or
My first thought is always selfish.
yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
me.
But
What am I going to
we
get out
can't,
of
we
it?
can't have a first thought, but the action we put in around it we can.
Yeah.
And that come with me with a long process, because consequences were fine as long as they were yours or his over there. If you have them, I'm alright. But
taking that pause.
with the process of hang on a minute, there's consequences for everyone here. And I don't want to be the causing you consequences or another person. But that will come with a bit of a process. Is it the similar process for you?
Yeah, definitely.
So, talk to us then. So, we've established that you were a lunatic, running around Holland with gangs behind windows, smoking crack and heroin, getting picked up by the police.
Yeah.
And so we fast forward 4.5 years. So where's life for you now? How's things now?
Gosh, it's a dramatic change. I never thought. So when I first came back to England, I found it so uncomfortable being in my own area.
Yeah.
You know, I felt so much shame walking down the street, and I was always fearful for who would I bump into that knows me from that life, all the rest of it. And today, like, I've moved back to this area. I've got a flat. First time in my life where it's been my flat. I'm not living in someone else's house.
You're paying your own bills?
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
All of it.
You actually like paying bills?
I love it. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
An adult?
Achievement.
Yeah.
Like, there's a sense of achievement with how my life is today, you know, and I've got a little moped, I'm learning to drive.
And you're working?
I'm working, I'll tell you a little bit about that in a sec.
You know the roads anyway, you can drive on your bike for a while, you don't have no problem passing your test.
Yeah.
That won't be a problem for you.
Well, I only stalled it once on my first lesson, so that was quite impressive, I've got to say.
But them achievements, like for me, when I achieved them things, like just passing my driving test, you know, the things that I weren't able to do when I was using it, that feeling that gave me was a bigger high than any drug that I ever took.
And it's hard for non-addicts to understand that, which I understand fully. But we get it, don't we? That's why we spend time around like-minded individuals.
Like,
So,
there's simple things, there's a couple of things what I've really noticed in recovery that initially I found really hard. Now I know how to clean, I know how to cook, I know how to take care of myself, but doing those things was a real effort, and I would get overwhelmed at the thought of even doing it, and I'd procrastinate.
Yeah.
And I think through the recovery process and living life and, you know, progressing, that's got easier. And the relationships with my family as well, like, they were completely destroyed. I wasn't welcome. In the very, very early days, if I did go around families' houses, they'd have locks on the doors. You know? And I wasn't really allowed around the kids because I would use it. And today I babysit, I have the kids, you know, overnight sometimes. I've just lived with my mum for a year and supported her through some difficult times, you know, and been present with my family for.
Has your mum got peace of mind now? Your family got peace of mind, and that's what you take, isn't it? When we're using, so.
Definitely.
So that's what I wanted from recovery. Like, I wanted my mind to be. You know, you said you got busy mind. Mine used to be like. It was just very different to what it is now. I can't actually imagine exactly what it was like because it's very different to what it is now, but definitely the peace of mind. I didn't realise how much peace the people around me would get from it. That's what I've noticed, especially in the last year.
It was all about quieting my head down. I had no regard for what this would mean for my mum and dad and my family.
I was told before that people said to me, like, when you're in recovery, your whole family will start to recover and the people around you will start to recover. Everyone will well back together. But at the time I was still thinking, I think I just need to get my head straight first.
A lot of the focus is on the addict. This is part of our project is to think wider than that and think of the family and relatives of that addict and how we can help and support
100%,
them.
I agree,
And I know, Michelle, that you have a interest in working with people like yourself, like we do. So tell us a little bit about your future plans, your plans in place. I know you've got a project going, and feel free to.
There's two things
talk about
that I can talk about that are happening right now.
Yeah.
So one is a project that's already up and running that I'm part of, and it's in Coventry. It's called Cherished Hearts.
Yeah.
It's run through Hope Church Mosaic, which is in Hillfields, and it's a lovely group of women. And my role is basically delivering groups, and I deliver groups to vulnerable women that have either been out on the street and are now in their supported accommodation, or
Is it addiction related?
addiction,
Or is it a mixture
mental
of things?
health,
Okay.
street working,
Yeah.
crime,
Yeah.
people that come in through the church, people that drop in.
So you see what's going on out there. What do you think? How would you describe Coventry's drug thing now? Do you think it's getting better? Is it worse? Is it
It's
very
scary.
present? Scary, yeah.
Yeah, I see it and I think it's like a completely different life. I can't believe that that's how I used to live, but equally I'm so like happy to work there and
Yeah.
be able to be on the journey with the women, because we see women that come in, they go to rehab, and you know, we see women that engage in this process, and it might take a long time before they
There's no
make
quick fixes.
changes.
No
So
way.
if
We
there's
want it to be
females watching in Coventry, is there a venue they can come to see this
Yes.
out in Coventry?
Yeah.
And
So
where is that in Hillfields, did you say?
So that's in Hillfields. It's the Hope
The
Centre,
Hope Centre in Hillfields.
and the project is called Cherished Hearts.
Is there a website to go with that?
Yeah, they can search,
Cherish, just
Yeah.
Google Cherished Hearts.
Coventry.
but like there's something else that I'm doing as well. So that's one project I'm working on, and that's
current.
current,
Yes.
in process. They can come and enrol on groups. They can get involved if they need housing, all of that stuff, support. But then I'm working with another lady, Debbie, and her husband Matt, and we are setting
Hi Debbie.
Oh,
Debbie's at the camera shop.
and we're in the process of setting up something pretty similar to what you guys have got.
Yeah.
So I met Debbie through church,
And this time last week, you weren't aware of it.
No.
It's just fell at the same.
Yeah.
It was a weird coincidence. Sorry to cut you off, but it was a very weird coincidence.
Yes.
I found that we had the same objectives, same aims, and we
Yeah.
were doing it at the same time.
yeah,
And it was almost a feeling that we were meant to be in contact at this time.
absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Like we're women and we need some help from men. You're men, you need some help from women.
yes.
We're called the Diamond Project. You're called the Dynamo.
The Dynamo Project, yeah.
It's
So-
very similar, and similar of like ideas.
As we
Yeah.
know in recovery, with men and women, like you said, we could probably take some advice from you, so you could take some advice from hers.
Mhm.
Our place, Lilac Housing, is going to be housing men, but in the future they will be housing women. So we will.
That's a good point, Pete. So our first house will be for men in July,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and by the end of the year we hope to have our second property, and that's where we're going to look to facilitate helping
Yeah.
women who are affected by addiction.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would like that to be run and supervised by women,
Yeah.
which will be the plan moving forward.
As we know in recovery, that works better. It's how it works.
Men
Yeah.
for men,
Yeah.
women for women.
We want these people to stay clean.
And the Dynamo Project what is it? Is it accommodation? Is it what?
Tell us
Yeah.
more, man.
So me and Debbie met at church.
Yeah.
She's a mother of 4 adopted boys, 2 of which have been addicts. One's still current and one is now clean.
So Debbie is a family member
Yes.
who's affected by addiction.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although not an addict herself,
Yes.
which is irrelevant because addiction affects everybody.
Yeah. And she has a really interesting story. You
Yeah.
know, she'll have to tell you about it. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
And
We heard a small section of it.
yeah,
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Quite unique, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
And I find when you have people with an emotional interest in something, it's so much better. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not for financial gain.
No, it's
not for.
absolutely not.
It's not for look at me, look what I'm doing. It's a vested
Yeah.
interest. A bit like my dad has an emotional attachment, and that's why my dad has supported me, Pete and Sam, in getting started.
Lovely.
Because
With,
that's that.
with good intention, not for attention, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
didn't make that up. It's not that. I'll stop stealing everything else.
So when do you obviously you don't have to go into specifics because you might not have specific answers. When do you think? When are you looking to get the Diamond Project up and running? Is there a time frame in place?
So where we're at the minute is
Yeah.
we're looking at properties. We did
Yeah.
find a property, but we're not sure that's the right one at the moment.
Yeah.
We're in the process of, like, I've created the referral forms, contacted like the local like council and all that sort of stuff. So we are
may need
in
your
the process.
guidance on that for us then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
You
no
said yes on
problem
camera
at all.
now, so if Charles says no.
No, it's no problem. You can literally have our documents and just change the symbol.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically we're just in that
Is it
process.
this year you folk? Do you
Yeah.
think 2022
Yeah.
will be the year that you'll be up and running?
Definitely, well, we hope to be. Should be.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
Go for yes.
Think about the amount of people that we helped to amazing projects. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's no competition here.
No.
We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We want to work alongside this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a startup project ourselves, and you as a startup project, why not try and combine and
Yeah.
try and help each other and give us the best chance to succeed? Because 2022 promises to be a good year for the Diamond Project and the Dynamo Project.
Yeah.
So.
And
it's
we
all good.
hope to be quite similar to you guys in
Yeah.
that we would like to have like counsellors attached to it.
Yeah. So
a
these
day
two guys
programme.
have started their counselling courses. You've already you started
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's actually quite interesting. I've got my head stuck into it.
he knows all the
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
It's about
It's
drugs.
all about
It's all about- yeah. I messaged Kieran. I said, "Will I be marked on my grammar here?" And he said, "Yeah, more than likely, because I'm quite new to using laptops."
And he spelled grammar wrong in the message.
Grammar what?
I put it all down, typed it all real quick, like you would a text message. And there was these little red squiggles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said to him, "Mrs. what's this? Everything's wrong. Spell everything. No one's going to understand it." But
So the Diamond Project, you will obviously be creating social media, and that's how
Yes.
you will interact with people and update people on your plans
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah.
So in 2022 in Coventry, the Dynamo Project will be up and running in April for the day centre, the accommodation in July, and the
Yes.
Diamond Project will be up and running in 2022.
And we will keep you posted.
So last year, so already from last year, there's now 2 further places that in Coventry that they didn't have last year, which is obviously got to be some sort of, it's got to be a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we work very hard and
Yeah.
trying to change things in a way that we
yeah,
can.
I think working together will definitely work. Like me, Sam, and Kieran sat with someone for talks the other day, and people who they create stuff like similar to ours and just keep it and want it to be their little baby and no one gets involved. It doesn't really work,
No.
and it doesn't help as many people.
No, it
But
doesn't.
we know firsthand that we keep what we have by giving it away.
Yeah.
The more people involved, the more people it helps. It will all grow
Are
anyway.
you going to be working? Is it abstinent based? Are you working with people that are clean?
Yes. So
Because the
we.
project, or Dynamo Project, will primarily be for maintaining an abstinent based lifestyle. So with clean people, not using.
Yeah. So that's our aim.
Yeah.
And you know, so initially we would like to have houses or a house where people come that are trying to maintain recovery,
Yeah.
abstinence. However, we are like looking down the line, a bit like you with the
Yeah.
second house.
Yeah.
We would like to do the same and have a women's house at some point,
Yeah. Of course.
possibly a detox house,
Yeah.
or work alongside other places that offer detox so that we can feed them in there and then back to us after.
Yeah.
I think it's
Exciting times.
working with people who are clean from drugs, but we say that quite loosely because
Yes.
we spoke, didn't we, about it. You know, everyone will be treated individually. You know,
Yeah.
wherever they are in their journey, they could be.
Relapse is part of recovery. It's
Yeah.
most certainly part of my recovery.
It can be with people.
Yeah.
We know it can
Yeah.
be. It doesn't have to be. It can be. But if people are on scripts, we still want to see these
Oh,
people
yeah.
come to our venue in the city. Come and have a coffee with us.
Yeah.
In the Dynamo Project, it's going to be open this year.
We may not know the answers.
Yeah, but we can find someone that
I
does.
think we'll know someone who does.
You know, whether you're a family member, brother, sister, your children, or your parents. If you don't, you know, if you're not on social media, just come down and see us. Wherever the people are at in their addiction or their recovery, I'm sure we can make a positive impact. I'm sure of it.
We want to make a positive impact, which is crucial,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and that's half about. I'd say so.
Cool. So I think we're going to moving towards the end of the podcast. How do you feel, Michelle? Do you think it went okay?
It's been lovely. It's been so good to catch up with you.
Yeah.
That's what it is, really. It's a catch-up podcast.
Just have a chat.
Yeah. So I don't get to see you that often because I'm over in bed with him most of the time now. So I've seen Pete once a week.
How's that meeting
yeah.
going, by the way?
Oh, it's so
Well, you just know if you ever turn up to
Yeah, you'll have to come along.
We're too well.
I don't do that at all meetings.
I've noticed.
No,
That's
it's
in
pretty
bed
cool, isn't it?
It's growing, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I love the venue as well.
Oh,
It's good that you used to set that meeting up over there, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
something
So there is somewhere in Bedworth,
Better.
Bedworth.
That's the right way to say it.
I think that's on a Wednesday night, but they can.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's online.
It's online, yeah. So before we wrap things up,
Rack.
Pete told us to wrap up early. I had to play a call, and I thought, my head went down a completely different path.
I was teaching our friend's daughter
Graham's
how to
daughter,
play
yeah.
ball while these were sorting the camera out, and I shouted to her, "Rack 'em up," and everyone's head. And I thought, what have I just said? And then I shouted, I was on yellows, and I said to her, "What are you on?" And his little head come round again. I thought, I'm just going to leave it.
Okay, so before we wrap up, so if anyone out there is struggling with any addiction, whether yourself personally or a family or friends, then you can get in touch with us. We can be found on Facebook under the Dynamo Project, which is doing okay.
Yes,
We can be found on Instagram, which is the Dynamo Project again, but there's a full stop between the and the Dynamo. You can message us on Facebook, you can message us on Instagram, you can email us. So it would be, this is Kieran at thedynamoproject.co.uk, and if you want to speak to Pete and Sam, obviously it's Pete or Sam at thedynamoproject.co.uk. You'll also be able to contact us on our website as and when that's up and running, which will be very soon, and we'll let you guys know about that. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Is everyone happy to wrap things up?
I think it went well.
Yeah.
Dynamo, what does it stand for? Go on, you do it.
Look how sure he gets now.
Go on, you do it.
Dedicate yourself now.
Yeah.
And miracles occur.
Dynamo.
Love it.
Dedicate yourself
You really
now.
wanted to do it on the
And
first
miracles
And I'll
occur.
jump in.
Yeah, he stole my thunder. So guys, thank you for listening,
See you
and
later.
we'll see you on episode 4 where we'll have another guest, and yeah, we'll leave it there.
Alright.
Thank
you.
you.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.